today we're going to talk about the arithmetic sum formula, which I would imagine that most of you have seen or covered by now at school. Can you just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Have you done this at school already? Just pop it into the chat. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
And we had a lot of fun with cats. Hey, everyone, we have learned. So we need to tell Teacher Leah what you guys have learned. And Teacher Leah needs to know that this class was amazing and everyone was behaving.
Yes,
So
they always are. Okay, so most of you are giving thumbs ups, but a few of you are giving thumbs downs. Okay. All right. So for those of you that unfortunately haven't seen this formula yet at school, it's going to be something new for you, but it is the continuation of arithmetic and geometric sequences and series. So let me just explain to you why we would use a formula like this, and then I'll explain to you what the different bits and pieces mean. Okay, so if you've heard your teachers at school talking about sequences and series, I'm just going to put the words over here, then a sequence, an arithmetic sequence, would be something like 1, 4, 7, 10. That's an arithmetic sequence. Whereas if we're talking about an arithmetic series, what we are now doing is that we are adding the terms together. So the same sequence written as a series would be 1 plus 4 plus 7 plus 10, etc., etc. So now we have Sn instead of Tn. Instead of term number, we have a sum to a certain number of terms. So Sn represents your sum, your addition to n number of terms. Okay, to n number of terms. N still refers to the position of the term in the series or the pattern. A still means the same thing. This is the first term, so term 1 or first term. N we've spoken about, and of course D is still our difference, our constant difference or common difference. Okay, so this is the formula that we are going to be substituting in when it is appropriate for us to do so, and that would be when we are working out a sum to a certain number of terms. Okay, so let's have a look at the first example. They want us to determine or find the sum of the first 20 terms of the series. So the clue here is that they have used the words find the sum. So find the sum means we've got to use our Sn formula. What other information have they given us? What does 20 represent? Is it our A? Is it our D? Is it our N? What does 20 represent for us? Exactly, Nolwazi. Exactly. Okay, so N is 20. So they are telling us that there are 20 terms in this particular pattern. What is the value of A? What's the value of A in this case? Okay, the value of A, careful guys, is -1. Okay, -1. This is the first term over here. All right, so the value of A is -1. Yes, most of you are saying that. Perfect. Well done. And the last thing that we need is the difference. Remember, we get the difference by saying term 2 minus term 1 or term 3 minus term 2. So what is our difference in this case? Our difference is equal to? That's it, Samaswazi. That's it, Nolwazi. Faheen, yes. Yes, 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 yes. All you guys, perfect. Okay, it is equal to 4. So we are basically subbing into this formula, there are 4 different variables. So either you can calculate Sn, or you can calculate N, or you can calculate A, or you can calculate D. Remember, whenever we sub into a mathematical formula, we have to have, if there are 4 unknowns, we have to have 3 in order to calculate the one that is unknown. Right, so in this case, it's possible for us to calculate the sum to 20, and this is how we would set it out. We would write here that the sum to 20, so I would write the sum to 20 is, I'm subbing into the same formula over here, so I'm just going to grab that and pull it down here so that we can all see it. So I'm going to write 20 over 2, let's just make that 20 over 2, 2a plus n minus 1 times d. All right. And that's all you need to show. And then you're going to pick up your calculator and you're going to work out what the answer is. What are you guys getting as an answer? You can pop your answers into the chat. And you've had a chance to work it out. Me too, Nolwazi. That's what I also got. Okay, so you should, yes, there we go. Well done, guys. You should be getting 740 as your answer. A question like this at matric level would only carry 2 marks. Okay, so there would be an accuracy for subbing in, and then probably a continuous accuracy on your answer. Okay. All right, there we go. Nice and simple. Everybody happy with that? Thumbs up? We feeling good? Just checking in. Perfect. All right, lovely. So now something for you to do, okay? So this is the question that I want you to do. I don't know why my things keep going away, but anyway, never mind. This is the question that I want you to do. So you can do A or you can do C. A would be the easier one and C would be the more difficult one. Let's just move that up a little bit. And your formula is right there. So I'm going to give you, don't think you'd need more than about 3 minutes. You can try either one of those 2 questions. Oh, sure. So it's Teddy. You're asking if I can, if you want to carry on working, that's fine. When you say the meaning of the different brackets, what I'm doing here, Teddy, is because we've got these brackets over here, these green ones that go around the whole sum. That's the same equivalent as what I'm doing here with square brackets. And because I've got brackets on the inside, I'm using round brackets on the inside. So those brackets over there are the same as these brackets over here. The reason I've got brackets around the -1 is because this is where I substituted. So here is where I substituted in place of the A, right? And then over here, these brackets here are where I substituted in place of the D. Okay, so normally what we do is that if we've got brackets inside brackets inside brackets, we would have round brackets, and then you would have square brackets on the outside. And if you needed more brackets, that's when you would use curly brackets, but it all means the same thing. Okay, Teddy? Hope that's all good. All right, so you guys are doing either A or C. If you're a fast finisher and you think you can do both, then you're welcome to try both. That's not a problem.
I can see some like pens flying around. Y'all are doing the most. I'm glad I get to see your faces. Cindy is like so focused. Let's go, Cindy. Rooting for all of you.
Okay. So Amakle and Faheen have got 2 different answers. That's okay. Let's see what the others. Okay, so Nalwazi, you got that as your answer for question C. Nobasutu, you've got a different answer completely from Amahle and Fahim. So do you. Oh, Zamaswazi says 770. Linda Kutle says 670. There we go. Yes, that's right, Mikhail. Yes, Colin, perfect. Okay, so most of you are putting the correct answers in here. That was the first question. So your sum to 20. So it would have been 20 over 2. Brackets 2 times 5 plus 20 minus 1 times 3, which was our difference. So I also get 670. And then for the second question, I got the same as you, Mikhail, and whoever else. Younger's got that answer. Mikhail did. Nalwazi, was it? Nalwazi, yes, in the very beginning. Okay, that would be the second one. Okay. All right, so if we're getting those same answers, then we know that we are all good. Perfect, Sanda, well done. So that's really easy. That's working forwards and calculating the sum to a certain number of terms when they have told us how many terms to calculate it to. All right, let's have a look at this example. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. All right, so now they ask us in this example to find the sum when the number of terms is not known. So in other words, calculate the sum of the following finite series. What does the word finite imply? What does the word finite mean? Oh, good, Fahim, that's good. Ends at that term. Yes, it ends. Okay, so in other words, it stops. So the opposite of the word finite is the word infinite. And we also talk about infinite series when it comes to geometric series, but I mean, we're obviously not going to talk about that. And here this means that it does not end. Okay, so the series ends. What is the last term? What is the value of the last term? Do we know? Do we know what the value of the last term is? Exactly. Okay, so 111 is the last term. Now, again, they're asking us to calculate the sum, all right? So they want SN from us. They're saying to us, calculate the sum. What piece of information is missing that we need to calculate first? What's missing? Exactly. Exactly. Quite right. That's it. Okay, so N is what's missing. We do not know how many terms there are in the pattern. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to use the TN formula because we cannot solve for N and SN if both are unknown. Okay, so we cannot use one formula to calculate two different variables if both are unknown. Okay, remember we can only calculate for one unknown variable in a formula at a time. So that means we need to use the TN formula. What is TN in this case? In place of, well, what I'm trying to say is in place of TN, what am I going to substitute? That's it. I'm going to substitute 111. What am I going to substitute in place of the A? In place of the A, I'm going to substitute. That's right. I'm going to substitute 3. Perfect. I don't know what N is. That's what I'm trying to calculate. And the value of D in this case. Good, everybody. The value of D. Yes, there we go. The value of D is good. Perfect. So now I can calculate how many terms there are in the pattern. Do you guys want to go ahead and do that for yourselves? You work it out and you tell me what answer you get for N. What answer do you get for N? Go and work that out. Oh, Ayanda, you on the ball there. All right, everybody keep going. Ayanda, you can do the second part of the sum if you want to, if you understand what to do.
Antekos is on the line. Maybe Antekos wants to answer.
There we go. So a lot of you are getting that n is equal to 55. That's lovely. Well done. So what we would have done here is we would have expanded our brackets and we would have left 2 in the one side and we would have moved all the numbers over to the other side. So -3 plus 2, and that means that 2n would be equal to 110. Okay, which is why you guys are saying that n is equal to 55. Okay, so that's perfect, wonderful. So now we can go and calculate Sn. All right, so we are calculating the sum to 55 terms. So we're going to go ahead and go and sub in our 55. 2 times a is 3, plus n minus 1, so 55 minus 1 times our difference, which was 2. Okay. And now we can go and work out what our answer is. You guys are welcome to pop that into the chat. What do you get? Okay, 3135. Good. Okay. Lovely. Well done, Matrix. It's perfect. Good stuff. How is everybody doing? Well. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Are we all good? Making sense?
Yeah, like doing really, really great. Just remember, if you think it's too fast, also take screenshot, guys.
Absolutely. That's it, Faheen. Good, Itumaleng. Okay. Oh, good, Dorcas. Unam, you're struggling with this a little bit. If you haven't done it at school, it can be a little bit difficult. Take some screenshots. What I'm going to do now is go down to the example. Okay. All right. So you can choose which one you want to do. A or B. Let's just grab the other formula for you. Sorry, I should have come down. There we go. Yes, Faheen, you've got a hand up?
So, ma'am, basically for this arithmetic sequence, like when you solve with the Tn, must you first solve, that's the first step, and then you do Sn afterwards. That's how you do this.
Correct. So in this particular example, because you do not know the number of terms in the series, you have to use Tn to calculate n. Okay, because it's implied that 111 is the last term in the pattern. So that is the nth term. All right, so once we know that n is 55, we can then go and take that bit of information and sub it in here. Okay, so there's 2 steps to get to the answer instead of just 1. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right, no problem. All right, so try either 5A or 5B.
Let's go, my people. Y'all can do this. And to all who have joined, welcome, because I see new people have joined us. Just please ensure that you are muted when you're not talking to Teacher Leah or I. Okay. Thank you. Lusanda, my dear darling, are you coping? Are you writing something? Do you have any questions? Remember, if you have questions, Teacher Les, yeah, and she's very helpful, guys. So don't sit there at the back and not write anything down because you don't understand.
Absolutely. Okay, Lucinda, no problem. Okay, Soyesile, I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yes, it did, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Soyesile, go for it. What's your
No,
question?
ma'am. I just wanted to ask, ma'am, because I came late to the group chat and I'm not sure what we're doing here. I'm very much confused.
Okay.
I just wanted to know whether if this, sorry, ma'am. If this is being recorded, because it said on the WhatsApp thingy that the videos are being recorded. So I just
Absolutely.
wanted to know if
Absolutely, it's being recorded. So you can go back and you can watch it again from the very beginning and then you'll understand. We're talking about the arithmetic sum formula. So this formula over here, we just highlight it in pink for you. And we're just doing various calculations working with this particular formula. Okay. Okay.
thank you very much, ma'am.
No problem. All right, so Ayanda, you've got an answer. I think you're the only person who's put an answer into the chat at the moment. Bukudo, just keep going. All right, just try. Doesn't matter if you get things wrong, okay? Just give it a try. If you are a fast finisher, you're welcome to try the next question while we're just waiting for everybody else to finish. And then obviously I will go through the answers with you.
Anam, is that a question that you want to ask?
Oh, sorry, did I miss something?
Yes, Anam's hand is up, and so it's
Oh, sorry. Go for it, Unam.
Anam, so you will have to unmute on your side, Sweetie Pie, so that you can talk to us. There we go.
Hello, can ma'am hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. That's fine. Go for it.
I'm new to the class. This is my first day and I'm very much confused.
Oh, my darling, I'm so sorry. Okay, so the idea is that with every lesson, I'm going to go through examples with you, and then I'm going to get you to do a little bit of work. Is this something that you have already done at school?
No, because in my school, I think we're using a different method. It has P in it, so that's why I'm very much confused in this TN and SN method.
Maybe
Yes.
maybe you haven't done this section yet, and that's the reason why you're a little bit confused. Because what we do is we go according to the ATPs. So most matrics everywhere would have done sequences and series, and then they would be moving on to geometry after that. But maybe your school works in a different order, which means you haven't actually done this section yet.
Yes, ma'am. That's because I don't even know what arithmetic sequences are.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the reason why. Once you actually get to the section, then all of this will make sense. But I think probably the best thing, if today is your first lesson, go back and watch the others before this. So watch, because you've missed 2 lessons already, go back and watch those, and then come back and watch this one, and then it'll make a little bit more sense to you as to exactly what it is that's going on. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. All right, so lots of different answers here. Matthew, Cornelia, Kyle.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. Hello, Amukeleni. I'm sorry, I've just seen you. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good, thanks. So if we must solve this, do we have to find n first?
You have to find n first. So what you would have
This
done,
is
I'll
also
do.
my first time.
Yes, so you would have to find n first. All right, so in other words, as far as question A is concerned, they've asked us to find the sum of the following arithmetic series. That means that they want us to work out SN, but we don't know how many terms there are in this series. So we have to use the term formula to calculate the number of terms in the pattern first. So we would say Tn, subbing into our Tn formula, Tn is minus 115 is equal to A is equal to 6 plus N minus 1. N is what we are solving for. And our difference in this case, remember, our difference is term 3 minus term 2. So if you say minus 16 minus -5 or minus 5 minus 6, your difference would end up being -11.
Oh, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. So correct after we have removed our brackets, we would then end up solving for N, and N would end up being 12 in this case. So yes, you would have calculated the sum to 12. So that would be 12 over 2, 2 times 6 plus 12 minus 1, and our difference was -11. And there were a whole lot of you that said the answer was minus 654, and that is indeed correct. Okay, good, well done. Let's have a look at the second question. I see there are some correct answers coming through, so that's really nice. All right, so as far as part B was concerned, again, we would have had to take 255, let it be equal to 21 plus N minus 1. Our D in this case is equal to 2. So now we need to work out the number of terms. So that gave us 255 is equal to 21 plus 2N minus 2. So that means that 2N is equal to 255 minus 21 plus 2. So 2N is equal to 236. And that's why N is equal to 118. So there were a lot of you that said that. Again, calculating the sum to 118 terms, that would have been 118 over 2. 2 times A was 21 plus N minus 1 times, oopsie, times D. Okay, so yes, we would have then ended up with you should have got 16,284. Okay. Prominence?
Rosary is asking if we can go back a little bit so Rosary can check the answers for A. There we go, Rosary. Take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. It will definitely help you to figure out what you went wrong and the correction. Take a quick screenshot.
Okay.
Can you go back to the questions? I want to take a screenshot.
You want to take a screenshot? Sure. There you go. There are the questions.
Thank you, ma'am.
No problem. All right. So there was the answer to A in blue, and there was the answer to B in red. Okay. Okay, so let's go on and have a look at something else that is a little bit more difficult. Okay. Just moving all of these things into view here. Okay, so in example number 20, they ask us to calculate, and they give us this weird looking E symbol, all right? So that's why I've put here, this is very important. What does this mean? So for those of us that have done this section at school, we would know, what does this symbol mean? What's it called? You can pop it into the chat if you know the answer.
Hello, ma'am.
Ah, there we go. Yes, Katlejo, hello.
Is this sigma notation?
This is sigma notation, quite right. Good job. Okay, so that is the sigma symbol. And what does it mean, Matrix? What does the sigma symbol mean?
I'm not sure if Prominence has to answer that question. Prominence, we see your hand. Do you have answer for Teacher Leah? You can unmute on your side. There we go.
No, ma'am, I don't have an answer. I just wanted to know where you guys are because I just joined in.
I can talk to you on the chat, so I can send you a summary of where we are and explain to you some of the stuff, okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So yes, all of you are putting the correct thing into the chat. It's really, really encouraging to see what you guys are saying. The total amount of terms is the sum of the terms. Yes, sum of, correct, sum of. So really, this fancy symbol, this scary looking thing, really means the sum. So either it is an arithmetic sum, like as we are doing in this lesson, or it can also be used. Sorry, please can we mute? Thank you. Or it can also be used for a geometric sum. So the sigma symbol can be used for an arithmetic sum, or it can be used for a geometric sum. Okay, but essentially it is an instruction to use the SN formula. Let's first talk about what the different bits and pieces mean, okay? The number at the bottom, what does that mean for us? The number at the bottom. Lusanda, what does the number at the bottom mean?
Ma'am,
Yes.
I think it gives us the clue where we should start counting or where we should start adding our values.
Yes, Lusanda. So where we start subbing in. Okay, so this is the first number that needs to be subbed into our rule, which is given in brackets behind. Okay, so this means we need to start subbing in at 2. So this is where we start subbing in. Katlego, you've got a question, go for it.
Oh, ma'am, I wanted to answer the question, so okay, never mind, thank you.
So, well, Katlego, since I've got you, why don't you tell me what the number at the top represents?
I think it represents, I'm not too sure, the position.
It's not the position, I'm afraid, but that's I would have also said that if I didn't know, but this is actually the last number that is subbed in. The last number, okay, that is subbed in.
They're saying the end.
The end. Yeah. Okay.
They're saying the end.
The end, that's it. And this rule over here next to our pattern, that is the rule that we are subbing into. That is the rule that is going to allow us to calculate the terms in this particular series. So we calculate these numbers by going and subbing in. The first place that we're going to start subbing in is at 2. So in other words, I can calculate the first term of the series as follows. I'm going to use the rule 7 minus 2, and the first number I need to sub in is 2. This represents the first term of my series. The second term of my series is represented by 7 minus 2 times. The next number up would be 3. The third term of my series would be calculated by 7 minus 2 times. The next number up would be 4. And so I would continue by subbing in 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, all the way to 100. But I mean, can you imagine how long that would take for us to work everything out? That's why we have these formulae that allow us to do it quickly. The last number that we're going to sub in, the number at the top, is the number 100. So the last term in the series is 7 minus 2 times 100. Okay, so it's very important that we study this and we learn what these things mean. So the number at the top is the last number that gets subbed into our rule. The number at the bottom is where we start subbing in. Okay, so you can see here, I've replaced my M over there with 2 because this is where I start subbing in. The last term, the last number I wanted to sub in was 100. And that's why my pattern ends after I sub in 100. Does that make sense to everybody? Are we okay with that? No, Ayanda. Tolofelo, it just depends on what the formula is. It's not always going to be 7 minus 2. There's any arithmetic rule could be applied. You can start by calculating the number of terms. It doesn't matter. I'm just showing you first how you would calculate the terms of the series. Okay, so Zoom user says 3 minus 1 equals no prominence. You can use sigma notation for geometric and for arithmetic sums. Okay. All right. Okay, so the first term is going to be, someone's already said that it's 3. That's correct, because 7 minus 2 times 2, 2 times 2 is 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. Plus, the next one is 7 minus 6, so that would be 1. Plus, the next term is 7 minus 8, so that would be -1. Plus, all the way down here, and that would be 7 minus 200. So 7 minus 200 is going to leave us with minus 193. So somebody asked if that was correct. That is indeed correct.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Can you please start from the beginning? I am lost.
Okay. All right. I tell you what I'm going to do. Let's just see. I was going to see if I could maybe do another one with you. I just want to finish this one for the people that understand it, and then I'm going to give them something to try, and then we can go back through this again. Okay, I think that's going to be the best way to handle it right now.
Okay.
Okay. Homolemo, what happens when there's an equal sign before? There can't be. Okay, there can be an equal sign afterwards, but there can't be an equal sign before. All right. If there's an equal sign afterwards, then it's implying that they've given you the sum, the SN of this particular series. Okay. So we know that our pattern goes 3 plus 1 minus 1, and then our very last term is minus 193. Now, they have asked us to calculate the sum of the series. So this means exactly the same as this formula over here. They want us to calculate SN. Okay? Just like we had done in the previous example, okay, when we did not know how many terms there were in the pattern, we used our TN formula once we knew what the last term in the pattern was. So now again, we know what the last term in the pattern is. We know that it is minus 193. So we need to use our TN formula to calculate the number of terms in this series. Yes, in Tombi?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, I'm a bit lost because I had internet connection problems, and my network started giving me problems, and I had to leave the Zoom meeting. So I'm coming back, and I'm like, okay, where are you guys? Because the last time I was in the meeting, you were still doing the introduction for sigma notation.
Oh, okay. So all right. So I've gone through this example. I'm not finished with it yet. I was just explaining what the sum means, and then I was showing the class how we would actually go about calculating it. So unfortunately, you've missed a little bit. I was going to go back at the end, but maybe I should just start again at the beginning. Because there are a few people that said that they didn't understand. So I'll just start here and then we can pick up from there. Okay, so this question tells us to calculate, and then it uses the sigma symbol, which means the same as summing. So either we can be working with an arithmetic sum or with a geometric sum. When we look at this rule, okay, this particular rule, 7 minus 2m, it is an arithmetic rule. There's no exponent in it. So it's not geometric, it's an arithmetic rule. So we know that this is the formula we have to use. We have to use the arithmetic sum rule. The different places of where the numbers are mean different things. So you're always going to be given a number down at the bottom. And the number down at the bottom is the number that we first sub in. So this is the first number to be subbed in. Then there's always going to be a number at the top of the sigma symbol. That number at the top of the sigma symbol is always the last number that is subbed in. So essentially, the pattern ends when 100 is subbed into the rule. So what I've done is I've taken my rule, 7 minus 2m. So here, 7 minus 2. And I've started subbing in at 2. The next number up from 2, because the numbers have got to get bigger from 2 to 100. So the next number that I'm going to sub in is 3. That's going to create the second term in the pattern. So this is the first term of the series. This is the second term of the series. This is the third term of the series. The third term of the series is created when I sub in 4. The last term of the series is created when I sub in 100. So what I've done is I've worked out the value of these brackets. The value of the first bracket is 3 because it's 7 minus 4. The value of the second bracket, 7 minus 6 is 1. The value of the third bracket, 7 minus 8 is negative 1. The value of the last bracket, 7 minus 200 is negative 193. So negative 193 is the last term of the series. Yes, Nolwazi, we can do that. We can do that. I wasn't going to say that now because there seem to be so many people that are confused, but yes, absolutely, you can do it that way as well, 100%. Okay, maybe we should just do that. I was just trying to do it the same as the way as the one before. Now, the other thing that we need to talk about is how we would calculate the number of terms in sigma notation. So the number of terms, or the value of n, can be calculated by taking the number at the top, minusing the number at the bottom, and adding 1 to it. This is a hack, like a shortcut, right? And I want to show you why it works, which is what I was originally doing. So the number of terms in the pattern is the number at the top minus the number at the bottom plus 1. It's a shortcut way of getting to our answer. What I was trying to do earlier is I was just trying to relate it back to what we've already done. So using our TN formula, if we wanted to calculate the number of terms in the pattern, we would go minus 193 is our TN, equals A is 3 plus N minus 1, and our difference in this case is going to be equal to negative 2. You're going to see we're going to get the same answer as we would with the pink. So we've got minus 193 is equal to 3 minus 2n plus 2. I'm going to bring my 2n over to this side, and I'm going to leave my 3 plus my 2 plus my 193 over here. So that means that Tn is going to be equal to 198. And I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And that's going to give me 99. Quite right. Now, all of that can be done simply and quickly by using this hack. So instead of us having to now go and sub back into this Tn formula, we can just use this rule. We get the same answer. So the number at the top, which was 100, minus the number at the bottom, plus 1. Can you see we also get 99? Okay, so that is a shortcut way of being able to work out the number of terms in the series when we are working with sigma notation. If we're not working with sigma notation, we've got to do it the long way. So we've got to use our Tn formula. But if we're working with sigma notation, we can calculate the number of terms using that shortcut. Okay, now let's see what's going on in the chat.
I also feel that some of you get like so confused because it's your first time seeing it, which is normal. Because I remember doing this also, and it was so tough. But the more you see it and the more you go through it, that's why we're having this video available to you. That the more you practice and the more you see it, is the more you understand it. Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
don't worry, matrix.
All right, and now you can go back and sub into your SN formula. So now that we know that there are 99 terms in this series, we can sub in. N is 99 over 2. So I'm subbing into my SN formula over here. All right, so 2a plus n minus 1. And then my difference was -2. Okay, so you would still use your SN formula to calculate what your answer is going to be. In this case, what are you guys getting? I think some of you have put it in the chat already. Let's just see what you guys are saying. I'm getting the same thing. Yes, -9405. That's it. That's it. Well done, Atim Korsi. Well done, Wande. Good job.
Ngiyayazi mama le nto lena mara yena uyenza ngenye indlela.
Okay. I'm just going to say
you're not muted, and sorry, I can't find the person who is talking at this moment because I cannot find them on the. Please, if you are not talking to ma'am, can you please mute? Because I can't find you, and I want to mute you, but I can't find you. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Katleho.
Ma'am, I have a question. In the exam, will I lose marks on the shortcut you just showed us right now?
You mean this top minus bottom plus 1?
Yes, ma'am.
No, you won't lose marks at all. It's a perfectly acceptable way of doing it. Right. I just wanted to show everybody, including those people that haven't done this yet, why it actually works. Okay, but no,
Okay,
that's absolutely an acceptable way of doing it. Everybody will do it like that. Okay, so it just saves you working and doing that whole Tn formula. All right, no problem.
Hi, ma'am. Sorry, quick question. Do you
Yes,
always
Kamohelo.
divide, ma'am, do you divide when it comes to the 2n? Like, do you always divide by the number of the n at all times? Or
yes, because that's the formula. So here
okay.
I'm subbing into the formula. Okay, so that's why it looks like this. So in other words, you can see here it's n over 2 times
No,
a
ma'am. No, ma'am, not there.
Oh.
There by up there. There by the -193 equals 3. I don't know, divided somewhere.
Okay, so in other words, okay. So I divided, so the only place here where I divided is when I divided 198 by 2 to get 99.
Yes.
Yes.
That part. So,
yeah,
okay.
So you would always have to divide by the coefficient of n.
Oh,
So it could be 5n, it could be 10n. You would just have to divide both sides by whatever was in front of that n. Does that make sense?
thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem. All right, now
Samantha Mughal, sorry, Samantha, you're always muting yourself when I mute you. You're always unmuting yourself. So I'm humbly asking you nicely, please keep muted unless if you're talking to teacher Leah. Okay, that would be nice.
Yes,
Like this, we don't hear the background. Okay, that's why I'm muting you. So I see that when I mute you, you're just unmuting yourself.
Okay.
ma'am, I'm lost. Ma'am, hi.
Yes, hi there.
Ma'am, I'm lost by how to calculate the general formula.
Okay. Unfortunately, our lesson is not that far from ending, so I'm not going to have time to go back over this again. What I'm going to suggest to you is that you need to go back and watch the video by yourself from the very beginning, because I have explained every single part of what it is that I've done, and then I went back and I explained the second part a second time. So unfortunately, in this particular lesson, I'm not going to be able to go back and do that again. I can answer little questions, but I can't go through the whole thing again, because I still want to give you guys a question to try, plus we've still got to do the poll. There was somebody, yes, Solofelo, I'm going to give you, all right, now, Kamachelo, we cannot share phone numbers and stuff like that on this group. Okay, so please guys, you're not allowed to do that. You can't share your numbers. You cannot ask for people's numbers. There are issues with that around the Poppy Act. So you can communicate with me, but you can't communicate with one another in that way. All right, I'm afraid. Sorry. I just want to go back because Snokuhle, you asked, ma'am, why did you jump to 7 minus 2 times 100? Because 7 minus 2 times 100 is the last term of the pattern. Okay, so it's just like Ntwana had said to you, 100, it's not that 100 is the last term. When 100 is subbed in, the last term is created. So by subbing in 100, 7 minus 2 times 100 minus 193 is the last term of the series. Okay, so the difference here as well is that we have to go and sub into the rule that we are given, which is in brackets behind the sigma symbol, in order to create the terms in the series. All right, once we've created them by substitution, we can then work out what A is, what D is. We can say top minus bottom plus 1 to work out what N is, and then we can go and sub into our SN formula. Okay, that's the whole idea. All right, let me give you a question for homework.
Okay.
All right, so let's do this. Okay, so that's my sigma symbol. Okay, so you guys are going to calculate this. All right, that's your homework question. All right, so screenshot that or take it down. And where to? Yes, essentially they could use an X here as well. Absolutely, not a problem. Okay, good job. So you've got some homework to go and try.